It is the 1st of March. It is 1 minute past 8. So lots to get through this morning, obviously with music as well, because music is a really important part of livelihood, I guess you could say. So we'll start with the first song this morning, and then we'll get straight into our chats. So our first song this morning will be My Life, Billy Joel, and hopefully it all goes well. Okay, and this is Roundup. So the first thing I really wanted to get through this morning was obviously the biggest news story of the day was about Jacinda Ardern resigning. She's obviously resigned. Chris Hipkins has the top job. I'd like to recognise her time as Prime Minister and wish her well for the foreseeable future. I just want to talk about the most recent poll, which was taken. I think it was the Taxpayers Union poll. There's been quite a few polls, but this is one of the most recent ones. Both National and Labour were sitting on 34.4%. That's literally neck and neck, like so close to the point it's literally close. ACT would more than likely be the favourite party on 11.7%, which is quite high for a minor party, so this year's election will be one to quite literally follow. If these polls are somewhat accurate, I guess this could be the closest election New Zealand has ever seen. But in 2020, Labour won by a landslide. Will we see the same this year? Election time, get voting. That's all I've got to say for that. Off the Reserve Bank about the OCR, the official cash rate, up 4.7%. Reserve Bank Governor Adrian Orr has lifted the official cash rate, OCR, by 50 basis points to 4.75%, despite billions of damage the economy faces after Cyclone Gabrielle. We'll come back to Cyclone Gabrielle in just a tick. Anyway, the Reserve Bank still sees the official cash rate peaking at 5.5%, despite the devastation from Cyclone Gabrielle. So lots of interesting things going on there. But Westpac has released they believe a recession will hit near the end of the year. Westpac's quarterly economic overview for February said the economy was at a turning point and high inflation was eating away at households' spending power. The report said that rising interest rates will now billowing through the economy. The New Zealand's annual rate of inflation was at 7.2% in response of the sky-high consumer prices. The Reserve Bank has officially pushed up the official cash rate from 0.25% in August 2021 to 4.75% now. Westpac is predicting rates to rise another 75 basis points in the coming months. Westpac predicts unemployment will peak at 5.2% by 2025. I really hope it doesn't actually peak at that, because I think in terms of the unemployment rate here in New Zealand, we have done somewhat well. There are still about 100,000 people still unemployed, but there are lots of opportunities out there for people to get those jobs, and also doctors trying to get them into the country. Why are we finding it so hard as a country to try to get doctors into the country is my question of the day, really. Is it because of the pay, or because who wouldn't want to come to New Zealand, to be honest? It's one of the most beautiful countries in the world. In fact, I guess we could say as New Zealanders, it is the most beautiful country in the world. But I'm just determined to find out why doctors don't want to come here and work. So we'll get back to that a little bit later on. Anyway, as I was saying, we're going back to Cyclone Gabrielle. You could just about say what a disaster that has been. To watch the event unfold across the North Island has been absolutely devastating. 11 lives lost to the cyclone. And I must say the country really just pulled together. I work in retail and we had donations toward flood victims just going out the door. We can all agree it was somewhat nice that New Zealand went out of their way to help another New Zealander. Terrible scenes across the North Island, water literally rising to the roofs, people standing on roofs, animals as well. I'd like to take my hat off to those who put their own life at risk to help another. You could say that's the Kiwi way. The stories that have been told about those who thought they had reached the end of the line to try to rebuild the towns, the cities, it will cost billions of dollars. Houses are set to be red zoned, meaning they'll just sit abandoned, but money won't save the amount of damage, the hurt that the cyclone has sprung to Kiwis. Hipkins has recently come out and announced that a special lotto draw will be held to go towards communities impacted by Cyclone Gabrielle. We will rebound from Gabrielle by building back better, safer and smarter. The global appeal means we can harness local and international donations and channel them to communities and projects that they need the most, Hipkins said. So all funds will go towards that. Also in the Times Age recently, that the Wairarapa Mayoral Relief Fund for Cyclone Gabrielle recovery has received a $100,000 boost from the Trust House Foundation. Master Mayor Gary Caffell said every donation had a significant impact on those most affected by Cyclone Gabrielle. The Trust House Foundation's donation is a massive boost, and I know it means so much to our local community. I am incredibly grateful for the generosity at a time when our locals really need that, because apart from Hawke's Bay and Auckland and Gisborne and Northland and Coromandel, the towns that were pretty hardly hit. Tanui was also pretty hardly hit as well. That was almost completely washed out. So it's good to get a bit of money here as well to go towards our locals. Ron Mark also jumped on the ship, welcomed the boost. He remains crucial that people and organisations can support Wairarapa folk who have been devastated by the cyclone, and that there is a confidence the funds they donate will be used wisely and impartially. South Wairarapa Mayor Martin Connolly thanked the Trust House Foundation, the government and every resident who had made a donation to the Wairarapa Mayoral Relief Fund. We are very fortunate to have the support of the central government, local organisations and residents to help the recovery of those most affected by the storm, he said. So, wrapping that up, all the weather predictions that have been coming out lately warning us about these huge storms that are going to hit us. To be honest, we need to stop that. We need to stop the fear-mongering. We just need to try and get on with it. I mean, I know it's pretty hard because the devastation that is out there at the moment caused by the cyclone. How can we turn this around? We just got to keep doing what we're doing, really, don't we? We've got to keep giving up those donations. We've got to keep helping those New Zealanders. Even without the cyclone, we should have been doing that in the first place, just in general, to help another New Zealander. So, as I mentioned before, it's really good to see people come out and get behind a great cause. So, all the best to all those regions that have been affected by the flooding, and hopefully we will see some changes soon. On to the second song of the day. What should we choose? Should we play some Eric Clapton? We'll play some Eric Clapton. It's Slow Down Sally here on 92.7 FM.
Nothing that is wrong in wanting you to stay here with me. I know you've got somewhere to go, but won't you make yourself at home and stay with me? And don't you ever leave. Lay down, Sally, and rest here in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay down, Sally, no need to leave so soon. I've been trying all night long just to talk to you. Sun ain't nearly on the rise. We still got the moon and stars above. Underneath the velvet skies, love is all that matters. Won't you stay with me? Don't you ever leave. Lay down, Sally, and rest here in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay down, Sally, there's no need to leave so soon. I've been trying all night long just to talk to you. See the morning light, color in your face so dreamily. So don't you go and say goodbye. You can lay your worries down and stay with me. Don't you ever leave. Lay down, Sally, and rest here in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay down, Sally, no need to leave so soon. I've been trying all night long just to talk to you. Lay down, Sally, and rest here in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay so soon. I've been trying all night long just to talk to you.
Okay, welcome back in 17 minutes past 8, Wednesday morning, 1st of March. That's right, 1st of March. Gosh, the year's gone so quick already, hasn't it? I mean, when was the last time I was here? October, I think it was, and now we've jumped into March. So that is quite a while. But as I mentioned before, at the beginning of the program, it is great to be back here on Roundup. Now, at the moment, I am planning to create a panel. That panel, should I give a bit of information or should I wait and see? Because I think if the panel does work, I think you really enjoy it. But we'll get off that because I don't want to spoil all the fun. Anyway, how was everybody's break? Holidays and stuff. What did you get up to? I was at the drags most of the holidays, to be honest with you, and work. But I really wanted to come back to the radio station, but I couldn't find time to get back on the show, and now I have. It's great to be back in the studio. Anyway, so who is in support of the recent speed restrictions in Wairarapa? Almost everyone is disappointed at Wakakatahi, including MP for Wairarapa Kieran McAnulty. He advocated that the speed limit on State Highway 2 stay at what it was, 100 kilometres. However, despite all the opposition from people all over the Wairarapa against the matter, Wakakatahi still went ahead. In its reply, Wakakatahi said that it did not apply to a statistical weighting to public submissions. The consultation for proposed speed limits change is not a vote. It is about seeking valuable locals and community input so that we can consider wider factors and context in our decisions, the Transport Agency said. That's a bit of a joke though, isn't it? A public submission was held, locals had their say, including the MP, strongly against the proposed speed limits, and then practically got the door shut in their face. And just on the roundabout side of things, the Wairarapa Times Age have released a story headlining Wakatahi ignored my voice. Local traffic planner Roger Bolter said Wakatahi, the New Zealand Transport Agency, did not act on his warning that the under construction State Highway 2 roundabout at Norfolk Road will endanger cyclists. I fully expect the cyclist to be killed or seriously injured within 6 months to a year of this roundabout being opened, he said at a recent Carleton District Council public forum. Bolter also told the forum that a Wakatahi official laughed at him after he submitted on behalf of the CDC, asking for separate cycling paths and underpasses at Norfolk Road and Wiltons Road. I would suggest that the official was assaulting not only me, but the CDC, Carleton District Council, Bolter said. Bolter, who has consulted with governments on cycling as a form of transport for several decades, said he was not concerned by the trucks. Said he was concerned, by trucks' large blind spot areas where truck driver cannot see a cyclist. This is only a single bridge over the Wairarapa River, meaning cyclists have no alternative route. Now, there's only one way to put this. Wakakatahi ignored everyone's advice. So you've got an agency that doesn't want to hear out people that this will affect most, but oh well, what's been done is done, and I don't think there'll be any changes for the foreseeable future, because I went on a bus ride to Wellington not so long ago. You don't actually really notice. Mind you, buses go slow anyway. I think they're only limited to 90k on open road. Yes, they are, because the class is a heavy vehicle. And there's lots of roadworks going on the way to Carleton as well, because I believe, I'm not too sure, so don't quote me on this, I think they're making it 2 lanes right throughout Carleton, so that could take a bit of time. It's actually looking pretty well. They've kind of extended the road out a little bit. And then the roundabout's obviously going in place as well, which will take a bit of time to come under construction. But once they are built and in work in progress, what do Wairarapa people think about these roundabouts? Do they think it's a waste of time? Personally, especially that one just going out of Carleton and the one at Norfolk Road, they're quite dangerous intersections, to be honest with you. I wouldn't say I'm 100% in support of roundabouts, but I get the understanding of why these are being built. And I do agree with the Rogers' comments on another cycling bridge. Obviously, that bridge, just as you leave Marston onto that bridge, Wairarapa Bridge, they will need another, or they need something there for cyclists because it is very dangerous. I've gone over that bridge quite a few times with the cyclists there, or even a person on an electric scooter on the wrong side of the road, which was quite frightening. I mean, I've got an electric scooter, but I wouldn't ride it on the wrong side of the road on the highway when you've got cars doing probably about 100 k's there. I mean, that's dangerous and stupid. Anyway, Rugby World Cup this year, and Ian Foster doubts he'll still be coached by the end of next year. New Zealand Rugby are on the look for the new coach, whoever that may be, whoever that may be, could still be Foster, and that person will be named ahead of the World Cup this year. So Foster doesn't get a chance to redeem himself if the All Blacks win this year. He sat in silence, but he's stood against the New Zealand Rugby debate on who will be the next coach. His words, "I want the best for the All Blacks in 2023. Whether that's him staying on, it'll come down to some factors. His performance in recent years, obviously last year was a pretty disastrous one, but we must have some hope for the All Blacks. In France this year, the World Cup is, who do you think will win? Obviously, if you're from New Zealand, you're probably going to say the All Blacks, and if you're from Australia, you're probably going to say the Wallabies, and so on. But I think, what do I think? I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, obviously, we want the All Blacks to win, but we'll see how they go leading up to the World Cup and whether or not that they will win. Also, Cape Town, Hurricanes, some games down there coming up as well. So if you want to watch the Hurricanes play, go have a look on the website and get some tickets. I think they're only about $20, $30. So, just a little family outing maybe. Go watch some rugby, go meet some of the players. Because remember that some of those players also play in the All Blacks as well. So you're meeting an All Black, you're meeting a Hurricane player, you're meeting I think one of the games in March is the Waratahs. They're facing the Waratahs. I think I might go to that one. But we'll see what time brings. And yeah, so obviously all the best to the All Blacks this year. Also, just on that sport talk, one described it as one of the greatest tests ever played. I'm sure if you were around yesterday, you would have seen probably the most famous cricket victory ever. I mean, I don't really follow cricket, but that was pretty incredible. Another said no one could begrudge New Zealand a famous victory. And a third described spectators leaving the ground with eyes like saucers, jaws long since dropped. UK cricket writers have heaped praise on the Black Caps and England after the New Zealand won the second cricket test by the barest of margins, just one run at the Basin Reserve. It was only the second time a men's international test match had been decided by a single run, and only the fourth time that a team had won after being forced to follow on. My mate Hugo will be pretty stoked about that, so I can't wait to have a chat with him about what he thinks about that when I next see him. Anyway, because this show is still the same, nothing has really changed. I'm still the same. This is still Roundup. In fact, this is still 92.7 FM, Arrow FM. So we'll play a bit of a song called Still the Same, and it's by Bob Seger. So enjoy.
Every time you place the bet, you're still damn good. No one's gotten to you yet. Every time they were sure that you caught, you were quicker than they thought. You just turn your back and walk. Always said the cards will never do you wrong.
And welcome back in. It is 8:28 Wednesday morning, 1st of March, as I've mentioned before. How quickly this year has gone. And it'll probably go a lot quicker, so be prepared to be in 2024 faster than what you'll think you're going to be. Anyway, like we used to do in the program, at some point of the show I'd like to talk about a place I'd gone and rated their food, I guess you could say. So, I'm trying to think now. When was the last place I went to? It was Lone Star, actually. And I had... What did I have? Well, I had a steak the first night, and the second night I had it was chicken breasts, whatever it was. 2 chicken breasts, and your normal chips and stuff like that. And I thought it was bloody good, in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. In fact, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And just thinking about it, I want to go back to Lone Star tonight and have it again. So definitely get that. I'll try to get that name for you later on the show. So then when you're next there, you could try it out. See if you agree with me or not. Completely understand. If you don't, you might not like chicken, you might like meat. I don't really know what you like. You could even like just a salad or something. I'm actually surprised how many people go out to dinner and eat salad. I mean, I wouldn't. But, yeah, a lot of people do. So we've got that out the way. Now to local news. Well, the first 2 parts of local news. But before I get to that, has anyone heard of the Go Zone Wairarapa? The new, I think it's a trampoline park that's opening up somewhere in the Wainawa industrial area. So I believe that's just as you exit Masterton to the right. I'm looking forward. I've seen a few pictures of it actually and the progress that's going on, and they're actually around town now with a car that has signage on it. And they say if you see them out, give them a wave. So I'm really interested to find out when they open, which is supposed to be at the end of this month. And I think it'll be good for Wairarapa to have something here to... I mean, we do have the park, don't get me wrong, but then we also have some other place where you can hold events and you can have fun and just go on the weekend maybe, and it's not age restricted. You could be any age to go there, 5, 25, 35, 75, So I'm looking really forward to the opening, and I think I'll have to go down and try that out myself. So good luck to them, all the best, and congratulations, that's awesome. Over to the Masterton Community Group now. Nest Page is looking for some old jam jars. Someone is asking, does anyone know who issues electrical and gas certifications for a caravan in Masterton? Another says, just moved to Masterton from the US, looking for an exterminator to deal with an ant infestation on our new property section, mainly concentrated in two outbuildings away from the main house, from what we can see. Also looking for an expert company to assist with the testing, tank water, and potentially installing a UV filter. Any leads would be greatly appreciated. And Ramsden. 2 Carterton notice board now. Just a heads up, if you're planning to get some landscaping done and don't get in contact with Shane Sutton, it seems as if he's taken large sums of money from people in Carterton to do jobs, but he's not turning out to do the job. Admin and the page are completely aware of the issue, and they are getting down at the bottom of this, and it has been reported to the police as well. Okay. Tracy Morgan is wondering if there are any local groups selling firewood as a fundraiser, also pine cones. Laura Ann has posted, does anyone sell trays of eggs, or know anyone who does, please? Because just looking in the supermarkets at the moment, eggs, if you have eggs, you are sitting on a gold mine because there's just no eggs anywhere. So... does anyone have eggs? Because I like my egg mayo, but we haven't had eggs for a while now, so I think I might have to pop to the supermarket on the way home to see if there are any eggs left. I want an egg mayo for lunch now. Quiz questions of the month. What is the largest planet in the solar system? I'll give you 5 seconds for that one. The answer is Jupiter. What New Zealand band released the hit April Sun in Cuba? And the answer is Dragon. And this is the true or false question. Adidas was originally named, I guess you could say, White Stripes. And that is false as well. False. Yes, so those are your 3 questions of the week. Now, dad jokes of the month. I told my wife I could make a car out of spaghetti. You should have seen her face when I drove past her. Do you get that one? Spaghetti, pasta. 2 golf clubs walk into a bar. One golf club says to the other, do you want a beer? The other golf club replies, no, I'm the driver. I reckon I can get you on this one if you didn't laugh at those 2. I love telling dad jokes. Sometimes he even laughs. Right, here are some random facts to go with that as well. Avocados are a fruit, not a vegetable, but technically considered to be a single-seeded berry, believe it or not. It's illegal to own just one guinea pig in Switzerland. It's considered animal abuse because they're social beings and they get lonely. Australia is wider than the moon. The moon sits at 3,400 kilometres in a diameter, while Australia's diameter is from east to west is almost 4,000. Venus is the only planet to spin clockwise. It travels around the sun once every 225 Earth days, but it rotates clockwise once every 243 days. So there are some random facts for you. We'll go to another song this morning. What do we have lined up next? It's Forever in Blue Jeans, Neil Diamond. I was about to say Elton John, but Elton John's coming up a little bit later on Roundup. Enjoy the song.
Talks, but it don't sing and dance and it don't walk. As long as I can have you here with me, I'd much rather be forever in blue jeans. Honey's sweet, but it ain't nothing next to baby's treat. You pardon me, I'd like to say we'd do okay forever in blue jeans. Baby tonight by the fire, all alone, you and I. Nothing around but the sound of my heart, your sighs. Money talks, but it can't sing and dance and it can't walk. As long as I can have you here with me, I'd much rather be forever in blue jeans, babe. And honey sweet, but it ain't nothing next to baby's treat. And if you'll pardon me, I'd like to say we'd do okay forever in blue jeans. Baby tonight by the fire, all alone, you and I. Nothing around but the sound of my heart and your side. Hey, money talks, but it don't sing and dance and it don't walk. As long as I can have you here with me, I'd much rather be forever in blue jeans. And if you pardon me, I'd like to say we do okay forever in blue jeans, babe. And long as I can have you here with me, I'd much rather be forever in blue jeans, babe. Long
Okay, welcome back into Roundup. It is 8:39. A huge musical extravaganza is set to take place at Windsor Castle on the 7th of May, the day after the monarch formally takes the throne, but the former One Direction hunk is tied up with other commitments. And the King's top choice, Elton John, will be in Europe as part of his farewell Yellow Brick Road tour. A proposed full Spice Girls reunion is off, as they're unable to commit to the show because their 5 individual members, Mel B, Mel C, Victoria Beckham, what's her name, Jerry Horner, and Emma Bunton, are too busy with their individual pursuits to fit in rehearsals. Take that due to the headline concert, though a proposed reunion with Robbie Williams won't be happening, while Kylie and Danny Minogue, Lionel Richie and Andrew Lloyd Webber are going to be involved. News of Harry, Elton and the Spice Girls' absence comes after a week it was revealed that Adele and Ed Sheeran have also turned down the royal gig due to other commitments. So, Elton John has been one busy man, hasn't he? I mean, he's really been travelling that world for his last tour. And hats off to him for doing that. And obviously, it's pretty sad that he only got to perform a couple of shows here in New Zealand. I think they were in Christchurch. The shows up in Auckland didn't go to plan. They were rained out. So I'm going to give you more of that live feeling, that as if he was performing live. We're going to play Benny and the Jets, which this version was recorded live in 2014. So he still has that voice, don't get me wrong. Just can't really hit those high notes anymore, but he'll try to. Anyway, Elton John, here on RFM.
Hey kids,
Cool, 15 minutes away from 9. Former board chair for Te Whatu Ora, Health New Zealand, Rod Campbell, is standing by his comments that led to his sacking from the role yesterday. Campbell was in trouble for a post slamming National's Three Waters policy, accusing the party of blowing the dog whistle on the co-governance. Speaking to TVNZ's Breakfast Show, Campbell acknowledged it was not politically neutral in regards to the Three Water policy at all. Campbell acknowledged that the National Party leader Christopher Luxon and ACT Party David Seymour did not like that. Campbell said he wouldn't be backing away from trying to introduce new change to the health system. I will attack anyone. I will get into an argument with anybody, including the Prime Minister if he wants to, about why she shouldn't be backing away from that. A struggle played out behind the scenes all day Tuesday, which was yesterday, between Vera and Campbell. Vera wanted him to resign by 10:30 or be sacked. This is eventually what transpired, and yesterday afternoon Vera released a statement saying, I no longer have confidence that Mr Campbell is able to exercise the political neutrality necessary for his role as the chair of the health system, which he is no longer. So, yes, that happened, which is not very good. But anyway, we will move on from that. How's that weather out there today? It was actually pretty good on the drive here, I must admit. So hopefully we're in for a good day. Stay safe, really, isn't it? Has it been hot lately? I mean, so I was talking to someone the other day, right, when we were sitting outside, and because I really don't like this weather. It was quite cold. You know, it wasn't that cold. It was just a nice breeze and overcast and all that. But a spit. I said, I don't mind it. I prefer it than being 30 degrees on a hot day and being stuck inside doing nothing. You know, you like that breeze coming in every now and then. It does give you a bit of a chill, I must admit, but it's nice. I enjoy it. What about you? What about you? Because this show's also about you as well. Do we have any other dad jokes? Oh, I've only got one, but it's a really silly one, really. Why couldn't the bike stand up? Because it was too tired. Is that a funny one, or is that one that most people say and then they just go, oh, that's not really good? What's coming up? Wings over Wairarapa, postponed until November. Hopefully we see Great East Show then. Really take my hat off to the team at Wings for doing what they're doing. Obviously, it was unfortunate that it was postponed, but also reasonable as well because of what was going on due to Cyclone Gabrielle. So all the best to that. Can't wait to see it in November and what the special plane will be this year. The Balloon Festival, that seems to be going ahead this year as well. They keep advertising for the nightglow and so on. So that'll be one to watch for. That's usually quite a big crowd too, the Balloon Festival. It's no longer at the Marston Showgrounds now. It's at Clairville. Just a heads up, so you might, just in case you rock up and no one sees, it's because they're at Clairville Showgrounds, which is on State Highway 2 on the way to Carterton. Other things, drags, petrolheads, March 18th, it was the 17th, 18th, or the 18th and 19th. It's the day after St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, because St. Patrick's Day is on the Friday. So that's Mayhem at Marston. For those guys who like cars and drag racing, head down to Marston and Motorplex. So that'll be LL71 versus Wild Bunch for the win. All comp meetings, so that's all classes as well, including Group 1. So it'll be quite a big crowd there as well. You know, it's good to see, people say, oh, Marston's not a very good town and all that, but we do have some pretty cool events go on here in Wairarapa, you got to admit. And the amount of markets we have going on and stuff like that. So it's really good to see the events happening, because these are some crowd puller events. Some of them are sellout. Like Wings Over Wairarapa in 2021, when I was there, I couldn't believe how packed it was. Like, it was like thousands of people in just one spot. It was amazing. So hopefully that goes well. Anyway, we'll play our last song for the morning. One of these nights, the Eagles, even though it is a morning, Wednesday morning, this is Roundup. 10 minutes away from 9.
searching for an angel in white. And I've been waiting for a woman who's a little bold. And I can feel her, but she's nowhere inside. Loneliness will blind you in between the wrong and the right. Coming right behind you. Swear I'm gonna find you one of these nights.
5 minutes away from 9. What a show it has been today. It's been great to be back in the studio. It's been great to be back behind the mic. And even talking as well. Not just sitting here, obviously. Playing lots of music as well. So it's been great to be back, as I mentioned. And I can't wait to do it all again next month in April. So all the best to you. And I'll see you all again soon. This is Roundup. I'm Jodeci Apiata. I'm out of here. Till next time. Goodbye.